My name is Sarah. I'm from Australia and I'm a midwife. Ever since I started on my journey even to becoming a midwife really was sparked from traveling the world and connecting with different cultures and really wanting to work with women, particularly recognizing that as a woman in Australia, we have so much opportunity to learn, and we are privileged in many ways that for me, I really felt like I needed to take on this calling where I continue to give back, particularly for women. I've always been fascinated with other cultures, and so I've worked in a lot of different settings as a midwife, and I've been fortunate enough to work in countries across the world, including India, and I've always been really drawn to Latin American culture, and I have been quite a few times now. So when I started on my midwifery journey, it was very natural that led into my curiosity of learning about particularly Latin American pregnancy, birthing, and postpartum practices, which have just been like a huge, it almost feels like a homecoming. Like, it feels so natural for me to be working in these ways, working with the faja and the rebozo, and just with the intention of just like nourishing and supporting women. And so I work as a midwife, predominantly supporting women at home, and like to share wisdom and teach and learn from other women as well. My intention for wanting to facilitate this to come together was, I think it is on cultural appropriation as well, because I've been working with the rebozo for nearly 10 years and working with the faja, and ever since learning with Mariu a couple of years ago, and that wisdom, what I've recognized, because I've also lived in India as well, that it's so similar across so many cultures all around the world. We all have the same intention, which is caring for women, healing, postpartum support. It all has the same intention. It's just done different ways based on what is available to us. And I think in our own cultures, we are really, really disconnected. But not everyone has the opportunity to go to the source and learn directly from them. So for me, probably the most motivating factor to help facilitate this was to create that opportunity for people to learn directly from a culture that has endured so much civil wars, so much violence, so much poverty, yet still holds on to their traditions so strongly. And if there's any way at all that we can live with the same philosophy as Indigenous people, living in reciprocity and continuing to give back and honor, and that's not just for the people but also for the earth and for these cultural practices and spiritually as well. If we can learn anything from these women to live in that cyclical reciprocity kind of mindset, then you don't appropriate and take advantage of this wisdom, because you see how sacred it is and how these women have held on to it despite everything. You can't not honor that. Obviously not everyone has an opportunity to learn directly from the source, but the inspiration that we have gotten from these women and how deeply they've touched our hearts and our own spirits, and the things that they have taught us in regards to how to bring back that connection to ourselves, to each other, to our culture, to our own ability to heal, as our own ability to connect with these energies, then that in itself is such medicine that we can then take back to our own communities and then continue to ripple out. And I think that overall has a really beneficial kind of like healing for our collective world, which we are needing so much because so many of us around the world are so disconnected. So if we can be a part of that, that kind of like lineage of reconnection, and this is just one way to do it, then I think that's beneficial.